Okay, as we have already seen that he has declared of what? The nature, he doesn't accept it from the first point of view. Now he changes everything. So what is this? Now he declares, not for these paint I, not mourn or murmur or other gifts have followed for such loss. I would believe, okay, abundant recompenses. What? Abundant recompenses, plenty of what? Compensation, for it does not regret the loss of his old relationship with nature. What does it mean that you have seen that he doesn't want to recall his memory, he doesn't want to lament for his past, but as he started feeling the importance of nature in a new way, that's why he is singing what? I would believe of what? Abundant recompense. Of what? It's full of what? Full of food, full of recompense is of what? Come on man, loss. My loss. Okay? I don't want to that one. Rather I accept it what? As a what? Full of happiness, full of joyous. Okay? Or the meaning of life. Then for I have learned. Now he is declaring his philosophy one after another. But what he says, for I have learned to take on nature, not as in what? In the hour of thoughtless youth, but hearing of times, the still and sad music of humanity. The sad music of humanity. Must understand the meaning of the phrase. Nor hearts, nor what? Grudging, though of ample power to chasten and subdue. Wordsworth explains his new mature relationship with nature. Nature connects him with fellow mankind. A philosophical statement, getting irritating. Chasten and subdue means of what? Make humble and calm. I means of what? The nature makes him give what? Gives him a lesson. A lesson. The lesson is what? To be humankind. To be humankind. To be of what? Calm and quiet. To be calm and quiet. Most of the time we have seen that whenever we have some materialistic riches, assets, we are trying to what? Be so much of what? Powerful. To dominate the other. And frequently we become what? We become anxious, angry, annoyed with the other. But after 5 years, when he revisits the place, the nature gives him the philosophical terms of what? That is to be the mankind and to come and what? This is his one of the lessons from nature. And I have felt a presence that distributes me with the joy of elevated thoughts, a sense sublime of something far more deeply interfused, whose dwelling is the light of setting suns, and the round ocean and living air, and the blue sky, and in the mind of man. What does it mean? Wordsworth, pantheism. So you will see that pantheism, later on I will explain it in detail, but you will see that the existence of God he is declaring here. And I have felt what? A presence. A presence. A presence means what? Something is there. What is that? That disturbs me with the joy. I mean of what? You are enjoying your life, something you have heard that. Or something seems to be that knocking at your door. What does it mean? It's a disturb. Similarly in nature, whenever he is there, he is enjoying in that time what? He has felt a presence. Presence of what? Of elevated thought, or elevated thought, not the confined thought. A sense sublime of something for more deeply interfused, whose dwelling in the light of setting sun. Where the presence? You have got it? In the sun, setting sun. Then of what? And the round ocean. The presence, where he is? In the round ocean. And where he is? The living air. The living air. The presence is where? in the living here, and the blue sky, and in the mind of man. I mean, why he doesn't have present? He is present everywhere. Who can present everywhere? God. And if we mention that God is everywhere, at the same time we can say that here you have seen that God is found where? In the setting sun, in the round ocean, in the living air, in the blue sky, in the mind of man. Everywhere he is found. And you see that these are what? Part of the nature. These are the part of the nature. I mean, God is where? God is everywhere in nature. And the term is called of what? Pantheism. Whenever a person thinks that God is what? Everywhere. In nature. Or every element of the nature, God is present. So the term is called of what? Pantheism. Got my point? So have you found that he's changed his first feelings and the present feelings? This is the emotional, physical feelings, or the internal soul's feeling? What do you think that? Obviously internal. Otherwise, you cannot find the existence of God everywhere. You cannot find the existence of God everywhere. He has found. And where he has found also? And motion and a spirit. Where? The presence is where? A motion and a spirit. And he impels all thinking things, all objects of all thought. So all objects of whatever you are thinking, whatever you are coming in your mind, everywhere you will get of home. God. I mean it's a word. God, God, God. Everywhere he finds of what? God. The existence of the presence of God. And rolls through all things. So the spirit is everywhere, surrounding us, feeling and binding us, and the what? Universe together. It connects everything. It connects everything. So the spirit, what he indicates it. Here spirit means not the supernatural elements. Here the spirit means of what? God. Here the spirit means of what? God. Because of what? All rolls through all things of what? It connects to everything. I mean what? That spirit connects everything, each other. So when it is possible? When the spirit is nothing but the existence of what? God. Okay. And therefore am I still a lover of the meadows and the woods and mountains and of all that we behold from this green earth, of all the mighty world of eye and art, both what they have creates and what perceive, well pleased to recognize in nature and the language of the sense. So poet moves from what? Sensual pleasure to the thoughtful relationship with nature. It is come from where? From your soul, core soul, okay? Not the external one. Next of what? The anchor of my purest thought, the nurse, the guide. So this is his another philosophy of the poem. Another slide I will complete today. This is what? The anchor of my purest thoughts, the nurse. Who is the nurse? The nature is the nurse. And you know that the function of the nurse, I mean so what? Who takes care of you, yeah? I mean so what? The nature can take care of you all the time. And he declares that the nature is what? The guide. The nature of his what? Guardian of my heart and soul of my moral being. So how powerful the nature is, can you imagine? Can you imagine? So how he thinks, how he considers the nature as his nurse, as his God, as his guardian, as of what? Inspiration or the soul of his moral being. This is the function of the nature. At the same time, he has found that God is everywhere. Everywhere means of what? In the previous two slides we have already, few lines we have shown that in every aspect of the element, natural elements, he has got what? The existence or the presence of God. No, what? Perchance, if I were not thus taught, should I the more suffer my genial spirits to decay. What does he say through these lines? Poet wonders what would have happened to him if he didn't recognize nature's blessing. So this is now he himself raise a question. Raise a question. Questions of what? If you cannot accept, if you cannot understand the meaning of the what? Nature. What's happened? So, it's a what? He urges indirectly through the question, through the lines, he urges of what? We must try to observe feel the nature very closely. Then we can be of what? We can be happy. And we cannot be deceived. We cannot be what? Distorted, or we cannot be disturbed by anyone else, because nature can save us. How nature can save us? Because God is everywhere in the nature. Whenever you can go to the nature, I mean what? Who will help you there?
Nature.
The nature, not the nature actually, the God. Later, this is his philosophy, okay? So that's all today, I think.